Welcome all to another episode of Hermes Hot Takes. Now today, we got a lot to get into again. Now, today, I've been chomping at the bit all week to talk about the Zizians because these women is running amok. America, I must let you know that these women is terrorizing the streets. They are treacherous in the streets, and the women are getting active. The women are truly getting active. So at this point, I feel I just have to dive into the story. And if you're not informed about this story, don't worry. I did the research for you. I read a whole article on BBC. And I know a lot of the morons who listen to me cannot read. So I read for you. So don't worry. I got you. Could you pull up that BBC article? Here we go. Run it to the top. So here we go. Zizians. What we know about the cult linked to 6 deaths. And here we have the Saint Ziz, I believe, an image of this beautiful woman. Let's scroll on down. Let's figure out about the Zizians today. Okay, so can we zoom in a bit? These letters are small as hell for my eyes. Right, find the center. Okay, so a cult-like U.S. group known as the Zizians has been linked to a string of murders, sparking several arrests. Who are the people behind this group, and what do they believe? Jack Lasota, 34, who allegedly leads a group of a few dozen followers known as Zizians, or Ziz Gang, or Ziz Gang, or Kill Them All, Die, was arrested on Sunday alongside Miguel Zacco, 32, and Daniel Blank, 26, on charges including trespassing and obstruction. Authorities say they are investigating at least 6 killings across the U.S. that are allegedly connected to members of the group, including a double homicide in Pennsylvania, a knife attack in California, and the shooting of U.S. border guard in January. 3 other alleged members of this group have already been charged with murder. God damn, these bitches is getting active. Let's go. The origins of the group. Lasota, a transgender woman, is allegedly the leader of the group. She earned a degree in computer science from University of Alaska Fairbanks in 2013, and according to her blog, moved to the San Francisco area 3 years later. There, she wrote that she applied for a series of jobs at tech companies and startups, including a brief internship with NASA, and began to associate with people involved in the rationalist movement, an intellectual trend popular in the Silicon Valley that emphasizes the power of the human mind to see clear truth, eliminate bias and bad thinking, and improved individuals and society. Now, if you're like me, a fellow moron, and you have no idea what the fuck that meant when you were just read about rationalism, don't worry, gang, I looked it up for you. So basically, from what I can surmise, the rationalist movement, and this is their core belief, this is what I believe they hold true in essence, a little bit diluted in layman's terms. They believe that niggas ain't shit, so fuck them. And now, before we get ahead of ourselves here, sometimes, as you know, a nigga myself, I sometimes, though I do not agree with this premise, I can see how you can come to the conclusion that niggas ain't shit, so fuck them. It's a thought that it's been on the precipice of my mind, like it's been on the edge of my lips to say, but I just haven't brought myself to say it. But it's a sentiment that I can see how a rational mind could come to. And don't worry, I'll explain more. But let's get back to the Zizzers, because the Zizzers aren't exactly rationalists. There's a little bit of infighting that happened. Returning to the article. Lasota began blogging using the alias Ziz, but soon fell out with mainstream rationalists as her writing spun off in bizarre directions. The blog, including posts of thousands of words blending Lasota's personal experiences, theories about technology and philosophy, and esoteric comments about pop culture, computer coding, and dozens of other subjects. So the Zizians, as they were, are really an offshoot of the rationalist movement, of the niggas ain't shit movement. But they've really kind of, fermented their philosophy. They've allowed it to bubble up into something completely new, something revolutionary. Now, again, this is very, surface level shit, and you come here for the real news. You come here for the deep dive. So again, my fellow morons, I did the work for you. I did some research into what the Zizians actually believe. I tried my best to put it all in a blender and come here today with an actual resume of the Zizian philosophy. Okay? So I went through, and it's a very fringe movement. There's not much about it on the internet besides you going really into the deep dives, really deep, and really, experiencing the whole range of content that's available. But it's not very mainstream, so I had to do a lot of digging. I went on YouTube and found one creator who I think kind of surmises a lot of it, in a few minutes. So let's play a little clip, the YouTube clip, please. I don't want to just read an article and give you the wrong impression of what something is, because that'd be, unfair of me. I really need to give the honest, complete truth of what this thing is. Let's go ahead and play.
Divesting is not obsessing with non-black men. Divesting has nothing to do with being crazy for non-black men, because
So we see here, she's talking about something called divesting. This is the core of what Zizians believe in that's different from the rationalists. They believe, yes, niggas ain't shit, but the solution is to divest. Can we continue with the video, please?
Divestment is about us. So it has nothing to do with being obsessed with white daddy. It has nothing to do with being obsessed with non-black men. It's about us. The second thing divestment is not is hating black men and black people.
Right.
Divestment has...
No, of course. So it's not about hating men or hating black men or black people. That does make sense. But it's, I think, if I'm saying this correctly, Miss Lavera, it's about divesting from black people because we just know niggas ain't shit. And, why even waste your time? Can we continue? Because there's more of this video. I like her to play uninterrupted. Don't mind my side comments, please, Wim.
Divester, we're not trying to pretend that there's no such thing as white supremacy, that there's no such thing as racism, that there's no such thing as, disadvantages, prejudices. No, we're not stupid here, okay? In fact, we're very smart.
Pause right there. So let's acknowledge here that divestors, they're over it. They're just over it in general. They're not saying there's no such thing as white supremacy. They're just saying niggas ain't shit, so why bother with them? And these are strong, enlightened women who are coming to the conclusion that in general, black men really aren't shit, so why even worry about any of the issues, right? I don't want to misrepresent at any point during this discussion of the Zizians today. I don't want to misrepresent their core philosophy of divestment in any kind of way. So let's just set that clear right here, okay? Please continue with enlightened black woman.
To not put so much of our energy into that, because again, that's a greater good problem. Of course, if I run into an issue with racism for myself or with some kind of prejudicial treatment, then of course I will handle that as an individual, as my individual experience. But I'm not gonna jump out in front of every cause, starting a gang of people trying to combat racism, okay? That's not our job.
Because niggas ain't shit.
Okay? Swirling and divesting is two
Pause
different
right there.
things, okay? And
the translation of the Ebonics, swirling is, black and white interracial relationships, just in case we didn't know. Continue, please.
that's what I think a lot of people don't understand. Swirling goes hand in hand often with divesting, because as a woman, and as most divested women who are working on leveling up, who are already leveled up, who's married, whatever, who want to get married, you know, who want to find a high value, high quality man, husband, swirling often goes into play, because you have to. If you divest from the black community and its toxicity, where are you gonna go? Like, you have to have options. But
we can pause right there. So, as we can see here, it's not that we pretend as divestors, and I'm speaking, you know, on behalf of my understanding of this community when I say we. It's not that we as divestors pretend that white supremacy doesn't exist. It's not that we don't see that there's bigger black issues, but we are just so over niggas that we just gotta get us a white boy and level up. Seems to be the general sentiment. And I'm sure the divestors will come correct me, all 5 of them, if they want to. But I feel like I had to give her a moment to shine just to set the record straight, because this is the most eloquent putting together of what the Zizians believe. Now, I couldn't just take her word for it. I had to dig even deeper. I had to go to that terrible corner of the internet called Twitter. And on Twitter, I had to type in the word divestment and see what comes up. And I'm at least relieved to see that this is not a widespread philosophy. It is very fringe. It is just 5 or so chicks going crazy. But these 5 or so black chicks, they really giving it up on here. Can we go to Twitter? Could we pull up what? Just type in divestment on Twitter. I think it's one of the first videos that come up. But yeah, it's going to be right there. Yeah, let's go ahead and play this eloquent divested queen and see what she has to say on the subject.
It's so funny to me that black men are so upset that all of these women in our community are dating other races. It's time for you guys to realize that you have literally forced your women out. You forced them to find other races.
Oh, we have.
While gangbangers are literally destroying the community and making the whole world unsafe, you're sitting online blaming the women because they're choosing better, safer partners. Should it be any shock to you that women don't want to create families with people doing gang activities? Why is that not dawning on anybody?
Oh, wow. Okay, so right here, we have another eloquent queen giving us another take here that us black men, being all gangbangers, as everybody knows, we're just not safe relationship partners. So instead, it's better to swirl, I believe, is what the sentiment is here. And again, at as many times as a rational thinking individual, as many times as I've wanted to come to the sentiment that niggas ain't shit, I've never taken the complete leap that the Zizians have taken, which is their offshoot philosophy that divesting is the only solution. Could we see another fellow Zizian? Let me see this comment right here. First comment goes from Barbie Bitch 166. Yes, dating is a part of divestment, but also make sure to encourage younger women to put themselves first by leaving these unsafe environments. Invest in education, wear natural hair, go to therapy, etc. Love the message though. She sounds like an enlightened queen. Could we go to Barbie Bitch 166 profile real quick? I just want to see what she has going on here. Let's read some other enlightened tweets from Barbie 166. There's fine. So, this is why I have respect for African divested women, because they know there is no point in defending that shithole continent that black men run. I guess there she is referring to Africa. Interesting. Again, in reply to another tweet, this is the real tea. I never understood how African women can be proud of their destitute countries ran by apes. The only ones that have good infrastructure are ran by Europeans and Chinese. Hot take of the day, but this is Hermes Hot Takes. We're here for the hot takes. Okay, so I hope here that I've given you a more well-rounded understanding of this divestment philosophy that these Zizians believe in. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, I'm looking at a tweet right now. It only has 1 reply. It has 6 likes. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares about this, Hermes? See, the problem is, sorry, eating my words again. The problem is with this type of thinking, my friend, is that 5 enlightened women can do a lot of fucking damage. And these bitches is running amok. Back to the Zizian article, please. Because I want to let you know that it is crazy that these Zizians are just running this much of amok. Now, another question you might have asked yourself there is, wasn't that picture initially of a beautiful white queen and not, a black divested queen? Now, scroll up. Show us Ziz one more time. Beautiful Ziz. Now, Ziz here, since I need to explain to you, people out here, is trans, and possibly she could identify as a black woman. And I am an ally. So I do not question. I do not judge. I'm an ally. And the fact that you've even asked that question means that you're probably a bigot. Moving on. Let's go back. Let's scroll down where it says false obituary. That's fine. Right there. Scroll up a little bit. Thank you. Up a little bit. Thank you. In 2019, Rosa and 3 others were arrested while holding a protest outside an event held by a rationalist organization. The last post on her blog date from around this time. False obituary. Over the years, Rosa and others would move around the U.S., according to reports, at one point living on a boat and later staying on property owned by others in California and North Carolina. In 2022, a warrant was issued when Rosa failed to show up for a court hearing related to the protests outside the Rationalist Organization meeting. But a lawyer at the time stated she was now deceased after a boating accident in the San Francisco Bay Area. An obituary noting that Rosa loved adventure, friends, and family and music, blueberries, biking, computer games, and animals, even appeared in an Alaska newspaper. Can you scroll down a bit, please? But the story was wrong. Rosa was still alive. Jessica Taylor, an artificial intelligence researcher who says she knew several of the group members, told the Associated Press that Rosa and the Zizians stretched their rationalist beliefs to justify breaking laws. Stuff like thinking it's reasonable to avoid paying rent and defend oneself from being evicted, Taylor said. Pulomi Saha, an associate professor at the University of California, Berkeley, who studied cults, says that while there is no strict legal definition of such a group, several of the Zizians attributes align with the popular cultural conceptions of the term. Let's say Saha noted, however, that there is still significant uncertainty about the relationships between group members and about what may have motivated alleged acts of violence. Escalating violence. Not long after the obituary was published, Rosa resurfaced along with other members of the group in Vallejo, California, which is north of San Francisco. So, translation, Tupac is back. Tupac is fucking back from the motherfucking dead. And Tupac is back on some thug life shit. Lo and behold, several members were living in vans and trucks on land owned by a man named Curtis Lind. At some point, the Zizians allegedly stopped paying rent and Lind soon to evict them. But the dispute escalated, and in November 22, Lind was attacked, stabbed 50 times, and blinded in one eye. In an act of what police would later say is self-defense, he fired a gun which killed Emma Brohanian, a former Google employee who was one of the Zizians and who had previously been arrested at the rationalist protest. Oh my God, a nigga ain't got an eye. Now, there's the BBC, so we all know it's half fake news, it's half whitewashed. I have the full scoop on what happened because they're leaving out a lot of details. Let me explain to you what actually happened here. My man's here, right? This man, respectable landlord, and, you know, he got a couple trailer parks. Look, a dude like this owns a trailer park somewhere in the woods. You just, like, he looks like he's, like, you know, one of the background characters in Ozark or some shit. Like, this nigga par for the course, right? Anyway, he has a trailer park. Meets these respectable Zizians, and yes, you know, of course, he gives them a chance to rent from his trailer park because they seem like the ilk of people who belong in his trailer park. Let's be real. So he rents them out the trailer park. Here's the thing. They're parked out in the woods or the cabin. I don't know. Trailer, cabin, same shit. Who cares? They're in the woods somewhere, right? In the cut. But the thing is with these 5 particular intellectual black divested queens who are parked out in the woods, they start to run up, they run amok, right? They run terror among the other neighbors and members of the trailer park, right? So Lind starts getting calls, right? They call up Lind. Hey, sir, Lind, I know, this is not about the rent. It's not. I got you. I'm going to pay it on time. But it's just the neighbors that you had move in next door. I don't know what it is about them. And, you know, it's nothing about them personally, but they just seem a little off. Then it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean they're a little off? It's just, again, I'm a friend to all people. It's not anything particularly, but every morning I wake up and it's like, everybody uses a little shea butter. You know, I get the lotion cut with shea butter sometimes, but the entire woods reek of shea butter. Every morning I wake up, all I smell is shea butter. And I'm like, what is happening in the trailer next door? And every night I go to sleep, I hear Meg Thee Stallion. And it's fine. I like Meg Thee Stallion. I play it sometimes, but they're blasting it on repeat over and over again, Lind. I have a 2-year-old in the house. Please, Lind, you gotta do something. We've been good tenants of yours for years. Not only this, right? Lind hangs up the phone, right? He's got it. Because not only this, these bitches have been behind in their rent for months, apparently, have not paid their rent. And they're running up amok, making the wood smell like shea butter, and playing Meg Thee Stallion all night. So, naturally, Lind moves to evict them, right? So he's like, I'm going to go politely tell them to go, leave. These 5 enlightened women, they need to leave now. And of course, he brings their strap because he's a white guy and they're scary black women. Of course, rational. But he brings his strap to politely tell these queens that they need to be evicted, right? Lind pulls up on the property. He walks up to the front door. He gives it a couple knocks. He already hears the music blasting, right? It's bomb, 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 bomb. Knock, knock, knock. They take like 5 minutes to answer. He keeps knocking repeatedly. Eventually, they open the door. Lind politely goes, look, we've had a good run of this, but I need you fine ladies out of this apartment. You haven't paid in months, and you have the neighbors complaining. But WAP by Cardi B is blasting on repeat. But it's not just any version of WAP. It's a remix of WAP, right? Where the lyrics go, only geeky white boys get this wet ass pussy. Only pasty white boys get this wet ass pussy. And they even change the sample in the background. It goes, there's some chores in this house. There's some chores in this house. Shorty at the door, answering the door, goes, what? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I think that you fine women need to get out of this house now, right? Ziz, Tupac, pulls up in the background, in the cut, comes down the stairs, sees Lind at the door. What's Lind doing here? What's the landlord doing here? Shorty at the door tells Ziz, oh, well, he says we need to get out. He says we're getting evicted. Tupac does not take this wisely. Tupac is a thug. Tupac is a gangster. Tupac tells Shorty at the door, then stab that nigga. Shorty at the door, naturally confused. She's a divested queen. This goes against everything she believes in. She goes to Ziz, Ziz, I thought we love white men. Ziz calmly replies, we love white men if they paying our rent and if they fucking us good. This white man trying to evict us. Stab that nigga. And then they stab that nigga 50 times. Bop, 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 bop. Stab that nigga in the eye, bleeding out on the floor. Lind, he goes deep into the abyss, through the clouds, through the fog. He sees the light. He's drawn to the light. But just as he's about to touch the light, he hears Cardi B, wet ass pussy, bumping in his ear one more time. There's some chores in this house. There's some chores in this house. He cracks open his eyes. Well, his one eye, because, the other eye's gone. It's out, so it's bleeding out. The one eye he has. And he sees a great big black fat ass twerking over his head. And it's so much ass. So much ass. What do you expect a man to do? He already lost one eye and he's about to lose another eye from the excessive booty sweat, the shea butter chemicals and the booty sweat fused together, dripping into his eye. So he grabs his gun and with his last action, he blasts Shorty. And that was the way that incident went. And this is what you come here for. You come here for the real news. I give the real story. Was BBC going to tell you all that? No, because they pussy. I'm the real one. Back to the article, please. Man's missing his eye. Fallen soldier in action. So 2 other members, Suri Dow and Samni Logencia, were arrested and charged with attempting to murder Lind. They remain in prison, awaiting trial. Lasota was also at the scene of the attack, but was not charged with the crime. So, lo and behold, Lind survived this shit. So Lind's also a gangster in all this too. We have to know, this was post-attack. So man's took 50 stabs to the body, caught a body, and then just kept on moving with his horses. The Ozark niggas is built different. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Okay. The crime spree continues. The following month, 2 parents of a Zizian member were killed in a small Pennsylvania town. Richard Zajko, Whimsy, help me out here. Zajko? Wow. What education does for you. Richard Zacco, 71, and his wife, Rita, 69, were found shot in the head in their home. The Zaccos were the parents of a Zizian member named Michelle Zacco, who was briefly held by police but not charged with the crime. Lesotho was arrested and charged with obstructing law enforcement and disorderly conduct in connection with the incident.
Zajko? I don't know.
Zashko. Oh, we're going to go with Zacco.
Zako or Zashko?
Zashko. I don't know. Somebody in the comments let us know how to pronounce these names. Anyway, what's crazy about this story is normally it's men who generally have a monopoly on violence in the world. Like when you hear about somebody going on killing spree, killing a whole bunch of motherfuckers, it's just really men who do stuff like this. But this story is so crazy because it shows you that these women is out here getting active. They're getting active and they're terrorizing people. These women out here in 2025 is violent like the men is. And if you have a problem with that, you are probably a bigot. If you do not see it that exact way, that these women are just as violent as these men out here, you're a bigot. Just accept it. It's fine. Continuing with the article. The hunt continues. Despite the links to those two attacks, the group mostly flew under the radar without receiving much wider public attention until earlier this year. On 17 January, Lind, the California landlord who had allegedly been attacked by members of the group, was killed. Vallejo Police Department say he was stabbed to death by an assailant wearing a mask and a black beanie. These niggas got the get back. Not only did these niggas stab this nigga 50 times, these niggas got the get back and finished the job after the fact and then went back into the woods. Like these bitches move different. The Zizians move differently. Okay. Police later charged Maximilian Snyder with murder and alleged that Snyder killed Lynn in order to stop him from testifying during the attempted murder trial. What? So in the attempted murder trial of Lind, he was going to testify clearly as the victim. So let's just kill him instead of letting him testify in the trial. But you're already on the run, so I don't know. These gangster niggas move different. I don't know. I guess that math makes sense, I guess, to somebody. Okay, so that was followed just a few days later by the killing of a U.S. Border Patrol agent on the other side of the country. 2 Zizians, Teresa Youngblood and Felix Bockholt, I'm going to stop trying to pronounce names. I'm over this shit. Were pulled over by U.S. Border Patrol agent David Malland near the Canadian border in Vermont. A firefight ensued. Bockholt, a German citizen who also went by the name Ophelia, was killed in the shootout along with Malland. Youngblood? Yo, Youngblood sound like a drill rapper name. And at this point, y'all catching so many bodies, bro. Y'all might have to drop a mixtape, nigga. Like, Youngblood sound like the next nigga who's on to come up in the streets. I can't hold you right now. Youngblood, who was previously known as Milo, was wounded and later arrested on firearms charges. The shooting led to a wider hunt for members of the group after police said the gun used to kill Malin was bought by Michelle Zacco. Yo, RP my guy also. That nigga look like a solid dude. Yeah, RP the guy. Okay, and then finally these menaces get captured. So after the Vermont shootout, police in Pennsylvania said that they had uncovered new evidence about the shooting of Zacco's parents, and Lesotho was wanted for failing to appear to several court hearings. Yeah, sounds like some Tupac shit. The whereabouts of the pair were unknown until Sunday when they were arrested with fellow group member Daniel Blank in Maryland. A police report said a resident of Frostburg, about 160 miles northwest of Washington, D.C., had called police saying he wanted 3 suspicious people off his property after they asked to camp on his land for a month. Which, discrimination, that's kind of racist. Just because they 5 enlightened black women, you want them off your property? It's fucked up how this world works. Maryland State Police said that the trio were charged with trespassing and obstruction, and that Lasota and Zacco were additionally charged with weapons violations. All three were denied bail. A lawyer for Lasota, Daniel McGargle, declined to comment on the arrest, but instead sent the BBC a statement he had previously issued about his client, saying, "I urge members of the press and the public to refrain from speculation and premature conclusions." And Dan, I will refrain from speculation and premature conclusions. I've kept my third eye open. I've tried deeply to understand the movement, and I'm not here to judge. But for my divestors, right, after running amok across the country and catching mad bodies and just being terrors to the streets in general, my divesting queens, can you let me know where is this going? Like, this is the first wave divestment movement. What does fourth wave divestment look like, right? Because we know with these women's movements, they come in waves, right? Like with feminism, for example. First wave feminism is, we want the right to vote. We want, equal rights to men. But fourth wave feminism, if I'm understanding correctly, fourth wave feminism is more something like Instagram model posts her fresh BBL, new post, and she gets a very small Chiquita banana, and uses that to divide her left cheek and her right cheek, artfully, of course, respectfully, of course. And in the caption says something along the lines of, "I'm finally empowered in my sexuality. I am tired of men objectifying my body. Hashtag girl boss. Hashtag vegan. Hashtag feminism." And you know what? But before y'all flame me for this, can you pull up go pull up the definition of the Wikipedia page for fourth wave feminism? Because I don't want anybody coming for me, but this is what I've seen. This is what I've seen on Instagram and my understanding of what it is. Also, what's a beautiful concept to go over is the whole concept of waves of a movement is very nice that, women have come up with this lingo to talk about the waves of feminism, because waves, they come in and crash. So, sometimes women get hype, women get angry, and then, the tide calms out and it recedes and bitches get over it. And then the second wave comes in and bitches get mad again, women get mad again. And then, some bitches get over it. And before y'all go ahead, jump ahead of me and saying I'm calling women bitches, no, I will call somebody of any gender a bitch. All genders, all 96 of them, okay? What is this definition here? Okay, so fourth wave feminism is a feminist movement that began around 2012 and is characterized by a focus on the empowerment of women, the use of internet tools, and intersectionality. The fourth wave seeks greater gender equality by focus on gender norms and the marginalization of women in society. Fourth wave feminism focuses on sexual abuse, sexual harassment, sexual violence, and the objectification of women and sexism in the workplace. When I read it there, I can kind of get behind everything that's being said here. Now, where that connects to, the thirst traps on Instagram and the OnlyFans links, I'm not really sure, but this stuff I can get behind. But my question is to the divestment movement and the 5 intellectual queens running it. What does the fourth wave of divestment movement look like when it's so far removed from the origin? Because in this first wave, if we already getting active and killing niggas, what's the fourth wave? Like, what is left to even do in the fourth wave? Because it seems like you Zizians have really just done it all. And is the fourth wave of divestment just like Kanye in the black KKK robe on Pop the Balloon? Is fourth wave divestment Kanye in the black Klansman robe on the popular show Pop the Balloon with 5 black queens vying for his love? Because that's the only way you can even top this shit that's going on. This shit is just getting so crazy with these Zizians. Matter of fact, pull up Kanye right now in his fashion glory. Fourth wave divestment is this guy right here, standing with my beautiful black queen, vying for their love and telling them how much that he don't even fuck with niggas. Is that the only way? Is this the only way to get the divesting queens, the actual intellectual black queens that we need. Because I think this is what the divestors at this point have convinced me of. Matter of fact, could we pull up just an episode of Pop the Balloon? I'm going to show you where fourth wave divestment goes. This is where this movement is going. By the time we get to the fourth, wait a second right here. So instead of this gangbanger that we see on the screen right now, just imagine it's Kanye. Kanye in his Black Klansman robe. I think I got it right here. Something of this sort. So I'm Kanye in the Black Klansman outfit. Ignore this man on the screen, this gangbanger on the screen. Pretend that he is Kanye right now with the Black Klansman outfit. I will narrate this video. Go ahead. We're ready. I'm a prosecutor. I lock niggas up for a living. I put them under the jail. You know what I mean? Like, if you dark skinned, put them away. Oh, that's good. Are there any deal breakers that you have? Probably parole. If the nigga ever getting out, we can't do that. But I really got to say parole. The chance of ever getting out. Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? We gotta get him out of here for sure. Oh, pop. Ooh, I see we already have a pop balloon. Okay, can you tell me your name? Shaquanda 28. Oh, okay, so tell me why you popped your balloon just now. Well, you said that you throw him away, and I really want to see you just kill him. Like, just give him the death penalty, niggas gotta die, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, that's cool. This is where the fourth wave divestment movement is going. This is the only conclusion that will ever satisfy these women, because they're catching bodies, they're running across the stage, they're getting too active. It's too much. Like, I don't know how much further do you Zizians want to bring this right now? Like, I don't know. And I'm terrified. Myself of it. But who knows? What else do we have on the agenda for today? Let's see. They're talking about banning TikTok again. Could we pull up an article about the potential TikTok ban? Let's see, because there's all this talk. I think I was in the gas station the other day. I see Trump talking again about TikTok. Okay, so Trump says TikTok deal is still on the table. Can we scroll down a little bit? I don't want to see this video. Just jump to the middle of the article. Fuck it. Yeah, right there. Yeah, let's get the zoom right, because a nigga can't read half the article. There we go. Trump on Friday extended the deadline for China-based ByteDance to divest the U.S. assets of the short video app used by 170 million Americans or face a ban. Bum, bum, bum. The deal must be reached by June 19th, the date when the ban would take effect. Trump has twice granted a reprieve from the enforcement of the ban. Oh, thank God. Which was originally set to take effect in January. The deal would spin off TikTok's U.S. operations into a new company based in the U.S. and majority owned and operated by U.S. investors. The plan entails spinning off a U.S. entity for TikTok and diluting Chinese ownership, sources have told Reuters. Okay. So they're talking about banning TikTok again, right? Or if they don't sell to U.S. investors and blah, blah, blah. We've done this twice now. And twice I've listened to all you babies cry. And everybody who's even remotely close to my age and all the Zoomers act like the world's going to end in a few days because they didn't sign this deal and blah, 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 blah. Can I have a hot take? Because I haven't had a hot take all episode. Clearly, this is going to be my first one, right? But allow me one hot take here. TikTok is like fluoride in the tap water. If it makes you morons dumber, the government is not banning it. Okay? If the IQ points go down and there's a direct one-to-one relationship with the hours spent on TikTok, right? On a graph, it makes X like this. The government's not banning it. It will be okay. Now, this is not actually a crazy conclusion to come to. It's a conclusion I came to, I think, this past following weekend. Now, this story might take some twists and turns, but follow me here because it all ties together, I promise. I realized this weekend when I realized that 7th Street Burger is garbage. Okay, so this weekend, at a bar, catching up with friends, get a little hungry at the bar, I go ask the bartender, can I go bring in some food? He's like, yeah, sure, go bring him some food. So I take a little stroll outside. I want McDougal. I don't want Mahmoud's. I don't want any of this other shit on the street. I want a fucking burger. It's fucking America, my nigga. I want a burger. Put some cheese on that bitch. Put the salt and pepper on top. Maybe some lettuce. Maybe some tomato. Maybe get freaky. Put some bacon on that bitch. But I want a motherfucking burger. The burger available on McDougal. 7th Street Burger. Now, I had this burger once before where I waited like 30 minutes to get this shit. And I ate it. And I kind of remembered it like being kind of mid, but I really was craving some shit. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to get it again. Give it a real good try this time, right? So now, for those of you who maybe are outside of New York, I don't know if it's an international chain. I don't know. For those of you who don't know, 7th Street Burger is this new trendy spot that appeared out of nowhere. I don't know when this shit started popping off. Perhaps on 7th Street, maybe no. I don't know. But 7th Street Burger, new trendy spot. You go inside or whatever. It's always a bunch of Zoomers, right? It's always a bunch of young people on their phones, vibing out, enjoying the vibe or whatever. They play like underground trap music, like on the speakers all the time. They blast it as if it's like a club or something, right? So it's always a young people vibe going. And everybody behind the counter, like all the employees serving you burgers, are dressed like they're background extras from a Playboi Carti music video. Like the vibe that they're on is like as if they're taking Instagram flicks in the back and then they get your burger and then they come back out. So you know the time that everybody on, right? So I order my burger or whatever, right? I wait my 20 minutes. I watch all the Zoomers taking selfies, doing the little dances to the side, back and forth or whatever, right? Cool. I go get my burger. Mans gives it to me or whatever, right? Cool. He hits his little TikTok dance as he hands the burger over like that. Cool. I take it. The grease sticks to my hand, which sometimes the grease sticking to your hands is a good thing, right? Like the grease is like melting through the bag where the bag is like dissolving around the burger. Like I can see, you know how shorties wear leggings to the gym, but it's like really, you can see their panties. You can really see everything through the leggings, but we all pretend that the leggings is doing something, but really the leggings, even though they're black, are somehow like transparent. I don't know what this legging science that bitches got going on is. It's very advanced and I appreciate it very deeply. This is like what the burger looks like in like a double bag. Like there's a white bag and then there's the little wrapper that goes around the burger, but there's so much grease that I can clearly see the cheese and the meat through the bag because the oil has so much disintegrated the bag. If you really follow what I'm saying, and this is not a universally bad sign. I mean, check Philly cheesesteak. You judge the cheesesteak off its ability to melt through the bag and, deteriorate all surfaces the longer you leave it on there. So it's not necessarily a bad sign, but it is a sign of something, right? So I go back to the bar, right? Excited to eat my food, right? Bust everything out. I got me like a soda and bitters on the side, thinking I'm a bougie white bitch or something. Take a bite of the burger. And then I realize it's trash. I realize that 7th Street Burger tastes like... Okay, and we're back. Sorry, my camera died. What I was saying, 7th Street Burger tastes like day-old chalupa meat from Taco Bell. Maybe with this fresh cheddar cheese sprayed on top of it. Now, I know that a lot of you children spend 8 hours a day on TikTok and you have social anxiety. So maybe you don't go outside the house late enough and go party and get fucked up with your friends. Many of you do, but many of you don't. Let's be honest. And when you're out at 3 a.m., you go from the bar or the club drunkenly into Taco Bell and you get the chalupa because it's a good deal. And yes, it is garbage, but you're garbage. You're out at 3 a.m. getting fucked up. So don't be judgy. You eat the chalupa, right? Because you're a fat ass. You eat the chalupa and scarf it down right on the spot. And then you're ready maybe for 6 more beers or so. But what you don't know, and I'm a sciencer, so this is why I do know, because I've done the research. What you don't know is if you took that chalupa, 3 a.m. chalupa. Now, not the morning chalupa, because we know that has eggs in it and other weird shit. They get freaky with the breakfast chalupa. And not even the midday chalupa, because the midday chalupa meat, yes, it's the same vat that's been sitting there since morning, but it has a bit more integrity. But that 3 a.m. Taco Bell chalupa meat, where they've been turning over the same ground beef all day, and it just gets marinated and fermented over and over in whatever toxic paint thinner and whatever other chemicals that are legal in this country that they use for the oil that fries up that ground beef, that's allowed to marinate and ferment. And at 3 a.m. specifically, not 2:59, at 3 a.m. specifically, that chalupa meat, if you took it and instead of eating it right away like a fat ass, you went home and you put it in the fridge for a day, about 24 hours, what you will experience is that chalupa meat, almost like a beautiful butterfly, undergoes a metamorphosis and evolves into a hamburger patty. It condenses and the sedimentary layers within the ground beef begin to reorganize themselves and restructure themselves in a way where that same chalupa meat is now presentable as a smashed together burger. And that's what 7th Street Burger serves, these smash burgers. And it's as I'm sitting at this bar, talking over with my friends, eating this completely garbage sandwich, that I realize the genius involved in 7th Street Burger, the pure, creative, and artistic ingenuity involved in taking repurposed chalupa Taco Bell meat, mashing it into a smash burger, sprinkling a little bit of more cheese on top of it, right? Because it's Mexican cheese you're getting from Taco Bell or whatever. The key to making an American cheese is they take a bit of hormones, maybe 1 drop of estrogen, drop that on top of the Mexican cheese. It becomes American. It re-ferments, re-solidifies. Don't question me, I'm a sciencer. And that becomes the 7th Street Burger. And the genius of that, to take that burger and then build an institution where you blast net spend on repeat and have all the employees dressed like bisexual goth astronauts and serve that to Zoomers unbeknowingly, is so genius. It's so beautifully genius. Could you do me a favor? Could you Google who is the owner or the founder of 7th Street Burger? Because I need to applaud him or her. He or she or they is such a genius. It's like they understand that the earth is dying. They understand that we need to recycle more. And they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Why not recycle the Taco Bell chalupa meat into a burger? Kevin Rezvani Paras Jane? Yo, you gotta pick 2 names, cuz I'm not saying 4 names, bro. Kevin, you are a fucking genius, my nigga. Look at Kevin. Kevin's doing his goddamn thing. He looks like a Zoomer himself. Kevin, you, my friend, are a genius. Let me tell you what Kevin does, because as I'm eating this terrible piece of shit sandwich, I realize exactly what Kevin has done. This is what Kevin does. See, every night, Kevin drives up to the Taco Bell in Union Square right at closing. When does it close? 5 a.m.? Who knows? Taco Bell really never closes, but they close maybe for a little bit, for an hour. And in that prime hour, every night, Kevin arrives at the window. And every night, there's an old Spanish woman cleaning, mopping the Taco Bell, mopping the vomit and, the condom wrappers that somehow appear in the Taco Bell bathroom. There's an old, hardworking Spanish woman who speaks no English, and she mops. And Kevin comes to the window. Kevin knocks on the glass. Boop, boop, boop. Closed? Closed? He's saying close. He starts miming. Close, close. And the woman speaks no English, but again, she can understand he means close. Si, closed. Si, friend, close. Close, close. Si, close. Then Kevin mimes again. Chalupa? Chalupa basura. Chalupa basura. He's miming for the whole vat. Chalupa basura. The old woman. No. No, sir. No more. No more. Not again. No, chalupa basura. Please, please. Niños, hungry, niños. And this beautiful saint of an old Spanish woman, though she understands not a word, he says, night after night, she goes to the back and she gets the bottom of the pit of the ground beef tank at Taco Bell and scoops up all the oils, everything, and puts it into a container for Kevin, right? And brings it to Kevin. And Kevin goes, gracias. Gracias, mi amor. Niños. Happy, niños, happy. And he takes the vat. And then Kevin brings that to his team of bisexual goth astronauts. And they chop up this meat in the back and they put it in the freezer. And that terrible, awful 3 a.m. chalupa meat becomes this bullshit that you Zoomers keep eating. And it's a beautiful thing. This is why you have to love America, because you can even take the most garbage food, and with enough hard work and ingenuity, you can serve it to the masses and have Zoomers lining up down the street. Now, as I'm eating this garbage burger, my friends at the bar, they're like, oh, well, you got the burger. I got you, but you gotta be done soon because we kind of have to go. We have stuff to do tomorrow. We have a big day ahead of us. I go, oh, what do you have planned, bro? He goes, oh, we're going to the protest tomorrow. And then, I think we're going to go over by the Hudson, have some fun. And I'm like, oh, the protest. What's the protest? What are you protesting? And then he goes, I really don't know. Actually, I really don't know, Hermes, what we're protesting. Interesting. You don't know what you're protesting? He's like, well, all the crazy stuff happening with like Elon and Doge and stuff. And also, you remember like back last time Trump got elected and there was just women's marches everywhere and everybody came together and just kind of marched for women's rights. It's kind of like that, but also kind of mass deportations and also, the stuff that Elon's doing with Doge. Like, I don't know exactly what it is, but we're protesting tomorrow. And I thought to myself, how interesting. You go to a protest and you don't know what it's for, but there's a couple different things that are bad in the world. So fuck it, it's lit to go to a protest. Which is interesting. That's all I said to myself. It's just interesting, but life is interesting. It's almost not remarkable to say that. I understand that. And I promise you, this all ties back in. Just stick with me here, okay? So, the next day, I go to my friend's Dungeons and Dragons group, which is, my D&D group. It's something that you do as a 30-year-old when you're a man-child and you don't have any kids. You form a D&D group with your friends, and you guys do that on the weekend. I'm going to my D&D group. I'm with Whimsy, and I see on the train a sticker, and that sticker says, fuck Trump. And something else dumb, like I don't even know who Brandon is or something like that. But a little red sticker in the subway window reads, fuck Trump. And, of course, in the Republican stronghold of New York City, where Trump won by 20 points, the sentiment, fuck Trump, is quite a revolutionary idea. Like, it really gets the people going. It's so shocking, I think, to see that sticker, that I get the sense that the czarist regime is about to fall and the workers and the proletariat is about to unite to take over. And I'm like, wow, I've really fucking missed out on this protest. They got stickers all over the train. Like, what else did they change about the world? And lo and behold, I go to my D&D group, and another friend of mine also brings up that she was also very disappointed to miss out on the protest. And, because she was disappointed to miss out, I got a genius idea. I thought to ask, could you explain to me what was the protest about? And she did. She did inform me that they were protesting also multiple, I guess, civil institutions closing, like defunding the Department of Education. Which, of course, I want niggas to be educated. I'm a moron, so I don't want other people to be like me. I want niggas to read and, do the mathing and the sciencing. So that sounds noble. And I had another homie there, works for the DOE, and I go, so if the Department of Education goes away, how much is cut from the New York City schools? And apparently it's around 5% of funding. And I go, 5%. Do you think you'll lose your job if the DOE goes away? And he goes, well, no, but still fuck Trump, which, okay, respectable. Still fuck Trump. That's okay. But then I start to thinking, how effective can a protest about Doge, Elon Musk, mass deportation, and the Women's March, or I don't even know how that ties in because I'm confused how that all goes together. How effective can a protest about all these things be if we're all protesting them at the same time? Like, do we all just have different signs, and then we ask the news photographer to look at this one sign and then look at that one sign and then just pan the camera back and forth as many times as possible? Like, how effective is it if we have a protest where every single person at the protest is in fact protesting a completely different fucking thing? And then I started to thinking, maybe a protest about everything ain't really a protest about anything. Now, I know this is a crazy idea, but follow me a little bit. Because, yeah, maybe a protest about everything really ain't a protest about anything. Follow me here. What if, let's just go on a time travel adventure real quick. Humor me. What if during the Rosa Parks protest, the Montgomery bus boycott, which, happened after Rosa Parks, it's a famous incident in the late 50s, early 1960s. What if a reporter from New York goes down to Montgomery, Alabama to interview, I cannot speak today, goes down to Montgomery, Alabama to interview protesters at the protest, as news journalists do. So you really get a scoop of what the people feel. So he takes a bus trip down. He gets off the bus and he walks out and he sees a bunch of people in the street with their picket signs looking like they're really doing something, really looking like they're getting fucking active, bro. News reporter goes up to the first guy. He goes, so do you mind if I ask you why you came out here today? Passes the mic to the guy. Guy goes, oh, well, I don't really know. Like, brother, I was at a bus stop and some black folks from the church came by with their van and they opened up the van door. They say, get in the van. And I say, hey, yo, you know how to traffic me and play with my booty hole. I know how this works. But they said they offered me a free ham sandwich and that we not riding the bus today and they give me a carpool to work. So you know what I did? I hopped in the van and they did give me a free ham sandwich. And baby, I love that ham sandwich. The reporter brings back the mic, clearly confused, and goes, okay, how do you feel about the arrest of Rosa Parks? Rosa Parks? Who that? And he calls over to his friend on the side. Hey, Clyde, you heard of somebody named Rosa Parks? Rosa Parks? Oh, nah. I heard of a bitch named Rosa Simmons. I fucked that bitch in her daddy's house last week. Oh, hell yeah, Clyde. Now, I don't know nobody named Rosa Parks. Sorry, sir. Quite fine. Quite fine, sir. Let me just talk to somebody else. Thank you for your time. So, the reporter, a little befuddled, goes to the second person to interview them at the Rosa Parks protest of whatever the fuck year it is. Goes to interview them. Puts the mic in the man's face. Sir, could you tell me why you came out to protest today? Brother, I'm going to tell you. Sodomy. Now, for too long now, you see, men love other men. And for too long now, there's been buggery laws that made sodomy illegal. And I think it's about time that men love other men. Reporter, once again, a little befuddled, but he expects it at this point, goes, oh, well, okay, sir, and do you have any feelings about Rosa Parks? Did you not come out here today to support Rosa Parks? Oh, yeah, no, Rosa, definitely for sure. But it's Rosa and sodomy. Again, we all know that the civil rights movement was very successful because of their ability to combine every fucking social issue relevant at the time and protest everything relevant at the day at the same time in the same protest. And we all know that every single protest in the civil rights movement was about every single fucking civil rights issue in the 1960s. Everyone. That's what everyone was about. They just, anybody who had an issue, whether it was black people or women or gays, they would all just protest everything at the same time and boycott everything at the same time. And it was largely successful. Rights of black people were largely gained and won by their ability to multitask and fight every issue at the same time. This is why the civil rights movement worked. And of course, this culminated beautifully in 1964 with the passage of the Civil Rights Act. I believe it's 1964. Don't fact check me on that. But in 1964, there's this famous picture. Could you Google Lyndon Johnson signs 1964 Civil Rights Act? Because it's a beautiful moment where after years of multitasking and years of protesting everything from the war of Vietnam and gay rights and black rights at the same time, Martin Luther King convinces Lyndon Johnson to pass the Civil Rights Act. Could we get a picture up on Google? Because it's a moment, it's Lyndon Johnson's in the foreground, and I think Martin Luther King's in the background. Yeah, click one of these here that got MLK, maybe that third picture, because there's too many white guys I'm seeing here. But Martin Luther King's in the background with a bunch of other civil rights leaders. Lyndon Johnson's there signing, reluctantly probably, but signing or whatever. And I'm gonna narrate this moment for you because you come here for the facts, and I'm a historian, so I'm gonna let you know how this press conference went right here. It is Lyndon Johnson here holding the pen. With this pen right here, we gonna give niggers the right to vote. We gonna get butt buddies love each other, and we gonna end the war in Vietnam right here with the Civil Rights Act. And he goes and he signs the paper, and Martin Luther King in the background, look how emotional he looks. A single tear drops down his eye, and Martin Luther King goes, I had a dream that one day little black boys and little white boys would be able to be butt buddies together, and they would never end up on the shores of Vietnam. I had a dream. And we all know that's exactly how the civil rights movement worked it, like at the time. And it was a beautiful time, and a lot of good shit happened. A lot of beautiful, beautiful things happened. My only problem is today, if the Rosa Parks movement happened today, if the Montgomery bus boycott happened in 2025, and that reporter from the New York Times hit the streets to go interview some people, it'd go probably a little different. Reporter still gets off the bus, tip hop, hip hop, bopping on his toes. He's excited to talk to people. Finds some blue-haired they, them in the crowd, singles them out, asks them the same question. Excuse me, ma'am, why did you come out here to protest today? Well, I just came out to protest today because of, climate change and mass deportations. I really don't like it at all. The reporter goes, oh, okay, ma'am. Well, how do you feel about the rest of Rosa Parks? What? Well, I'm sorry, ma'am. How do you feel about the rest of Rosa Parks? Oh, Ruby Rose? Well, the thing with Ruby Rose is she sucks a lot of rappers' dicks, and maybe she makes a lot of money off OnlyFans, but I really am tired of everybody slut-shaming her and acting like she's not a beautiful, creative individual. She's super creative and super talented, and I think people just need to get over that. Okay, ma'am, I I actually wanted to hear about Rosa Parks, the person today where people are organizing this bus protest about. Oh, well, sorry, who's that? Oh, Rosa Parks. She was actually a black woman who sat in the front of the bus in a whites only section, and a white man asked for her seat and she refused, and then the police detained her, and they had this bus boycott, which is a protest event that you're standing for right now. That Rosa Parks. Oh, well, you know, it's so much like this patriarchy that just lets white men discriminate against POCs like Ruby Rosa. Ma'am, I said Rosa Parks. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you actually add subtitles? Because it's hard for me to catch everything you're saying. Sorry, man. I cannot add subtitles. This is real life right here. Oh, yeah, that's fine. See, what you're going to do, you're going to actually go and take your phone and turn it sideways and then film yourself widescreen. And then go ahead on your computer and then cut that vertical so that it cuts off half of your face. And then what are you cooking for dinner tonight? I don't know. Penne alla vodka. Oh, no. Okay, perfect. So then you're going to make a video of you cooking penne alla vodka. And then you're going to cut that again, like halfway through the screen so that it just takes the bottom of the phone screen. And then you talking right now will be on the top of the phone screen. And then just add subtitles on top of that about Ruby Rosa. And I'm sure all of us will come out next week and we'll be protesting her. That is why they're not getting rid of TikTok, you fucking morons. Okay? It will be here for 1,000 years if you motherfuckers keep spending 8 hours a day looking at it. And, you know, it's funny. Through all this shit today, I know I probably sound like some crazy, like, right-wing Trump supporter. And the crazy thing is, I'm not, you know? I'm actually, like, pretty in agreement with most of the shit that liberals say. But the case of being a liberal in the modern day and age is you have to confront the fact that it's generally the entire movement of liberalism is like a fucking walking clown show, like every single day. I don't even know what people are protesting. I don't even know what the fuck people are complaining about. Here's a crazy idea for liberals. Why don't you just like pick a fucking topic and stick to it? Like pick some talking points. Let me give you an example. This is what the Republicans and the right wingers did. They went, immigration bad, abortion, let's just not talk about that. Yes, was abortion getting banned? Sure. Was it our fault? Sure. But we're not going to fucking talk about that when it's time to win fucking elections and popular opinion. The liberals can learn something from that. You cannot protest the mass deportation and also climate change and also women's rights and also every fucking intersectional issue at the same fucking time. Pick a lane. Or don't. I don't know. Who wants to listen to me? I'm just a moron who's trying to have a podcast. And honestly, by the time I clip this and put it on TikTok, that last part will probably be cut out. So I'll just probably be, you know, perceived as a right-wing supporter or whatever. Who gives a fuck? All I'm saying is TikTok is not going anywhere, kiddos. And the next time Trump tries to dangle in front of, like, the carrot in front of your head, like, oh, I'm the motherfucker who kept TikTok alive. Like, don't fall for it. No one cares. TikTok will never die because everybody is just so distracted and stupid that they can think that they can multitask their social justice movements to make any change in the world, and nothing fucking changes. Okay. Whimsy, have I been canceled yet? Did they officially cancel me yet?
I canceled you.
Okay. Whimsy has canceled me. So now that I'm canceled, let's just wrap up this show here. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of Hermes Hot Takes. Now, here, episode after episode, I'm trying to get canceled before my, rap career even begins, so I can be the most hated man in rap and, like 6ix9ine, have a career for maybe 2 years before I fizzle out into oblivion. But in that 2 years, I just want to make enough money to retire my mom. Because foolishly, as a child, I made this promise to my mom that one day I'd be rich and I retire her early. And now that I soar past 30 and now I'm just flying, coasting at 100 miles an hour to my death, That early retirement for mama is becoming a late retirement. And unfortunately, my mother never fails to remind me of that in every conversation I have with her. And my mama's getting a little yappy about the early retirement. Mama's been yapping a lot. And mama, I love you and I'm working on it. But please, please, whether you think I'm a fascist and a racist and you hate me, or you are a fascist and a racist and you think this is kind of funny actually, please share. Please send this video to a friend. Say this guy's a douchebag. Say I hate him. Please do something. Share, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. The good shit. Because I just want to retire my mama. Because I love her. Thank you. Good night.